So the latest chapter of Boruto just released, and there was a few interesting things that caught my eye, but for the most part, it was how everything was presented that really gave me even further hope that Boruto is on the right track and it's becoming very good as a manga series. First thing in the manga, we see Himawari fighting against the Otsutsuki, and off the bat, she immediately shows her proficiency with Kurama, how like it is better than anyone that we have ever seen by simply healing her friend that really only advanced healing techniques could save him. But as we've seen from time and time again from Naruto, healing himself and later in the war, healing other people with Kurama's chakra, it truly shows that her proficiency with Kurama is just a lot better, seeing how it took Naruto all the way up until then and had to actively give them a chakra cloak instead of just touching them and they're just healed. And then she goes on to actually fight him, which shows her monstrous strength and how much she has improved, even getting praise from her astonishing advancements. However, again, she is just a bundle of potential and hasn't actually earned the right to be strong. And the manga does a great job of hitting that when he completely decimates her and outclasses her pretty much immediately right after. And even then, basically saying that he's only using a little bit of his power, which is keeping the power skeleton, the biggest critique of mine, in check. Then we move over to Sarada fighting her own fight and pretty much also being outclassed not long after. She did just win in the Battle of Shidori's. However, it was stated that pretty much the only reason she did, and actually shown later on, is the only reason that she did win that fight is because she had the Sharingan and her opponent only had the Rinnegan, at least as far as we can tell with the one eye being revealed. Probably has the Sharingan under that eye, not gonna lie to you, or at least the Rinne Sharingan. That would be cool, but that's neither here nor there. He quickly dispatches of her using pretty advanced tactics, which is further showing the difference in power. Even though he is not the smartest out there, the Karma Mark and the World Tree is nothing but a data of like battles, and he has all of Sasuke's battles experience. So even though he's not actually that smart, he's still learning things as time goes on, he has way more experience than everyone here at the jump. And they show this when Sarada immediately takes him for granted, thinks she outclassed him, and he immediately incapacitates her. But the very interesting thing after that is Konohamaru using his wind style Rasen barricade. To me, seems like is a spiral shield effect to block massive damage, which it did save him from being completely outclassed. Again, keeping the power skeleton in check. We all know that this Rasengan is very powerful, but this Otsutsuki is 10 times more powerful than Konohamaru has any right to be. But he made up for it with his advanced skill, which is great because this chapter is also showing how like skill can be a pretty good factor in saving yourself from someone that is overpowering you. Not only that, Konohamaru using this cool technique that I feel like we've seen for the first time. I don't remember seeing this technique, so maybe he used it in the anime. I don't remember seeing that episode, but this technique does show proficiency in the fact that the younger generation did get a lot better thanks to the tutelage of the older generation. Naruto was the first one to pave the path, and then Boruto was able to make multiple different Rasengans based off of that. And then obviously it'd be kind of crazy if Konohamaru wasn't able to also replicate this, especially being in his family who are pretty much known to be elemental masters in the shinobi world, at least the ones that are shown on screen. Then we pan over to Himawari getting her butt kicked, losing outright, Kurama thinking that it's all over, and then Boruto shows up to save the day. He does this in a very and obviously he speed blitzes straight past Kawaki and Delta real quick, real easy, like showing that he's again way better than them, and they obviously are not up to this type of power. Obviously they're probably gonna have to be a training arc at some point because, like I said in my Sage Mode video, these guys got to get something in order to catch up to this gang of Otsutsuki members, because there's more than just these two guys, and these two guys are enough to give everybody a problem, and Boruto can't do this alone already. But there's neither here nor there, as we see in the next part, Boruto, as we've seen before, utilized his flying Raijin technique, which we can clearly see is very different from all the other flying Raijins that we've seen before. First thing that makes it different is the fact that he has to coordinate himself with the Toads, and they have to shout out the item or the shape of the mark that he wants to go to. Obviously he has them all mapped out in his head, but this technique is inherently different than Minato's, which to me is great. It shows that he is not as proficient with it as Minato was. He can do it pretty reliably, but he cannot do it nowhere near as well as Minato or even the second Hokage, Togurama, because we know that Minato, even when he was a Jonin, even when he was young, he was able to throw out multiple different kunais and be able to map out and go anywhere he wanted. Wherever the kunai was, he was able to go there immediately. With the level of skill that he showed, it seemed like he didn't even have to think about it. It seemed like free form teleportation, but truthfully, we know the mastery of it is the fact that he just knew exactly where to go at all times. Like the level of big brain that Minato had was almost unparalleled. Again, Boruto is showing that he is very proficient with it, but he is not at the level of seamlessly free-form teleportation. Not yet anyway. This is great towards the skills and the power scaling of it all, because it'd be a little busted if he was as good as Minato at using Fly Raijin while still being insanely overpowered the way he is. Obviously, there has to be a give somewhere, and this is it. So it's a nice little compromise. It's a nice little touch. And basically, the final touch is when Boruto swoops in and intercepts what was going on, what was about to happen to Sarada. With the final chapter basically just hitting that his name is now Usasuki Boruto, like, which is a good little touch, seeing how, you know, he is an outcast. It's just a nice visual touch. So yeah, that's basically how the chapter went down, and I think it was a great chapter, amazingly done, showing all these advanced skills and just the difference in power at the same time, which I hope is just the building blocks for like a great like little training arc, or like seeing how they will advance these techniques that was shown to be able to combat these overpowered beings. Like I said, they're just too strong at the moment. They got great techniques right now, showing that skill can go a long way, but these guys also got some good skills and they're really strong. But that's all I gotta say about that. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, don't forget to subscribe. It's Pride Sage here, and I hope you guys have a good day.